subscribe button. I do a lot of different content. I'm sure you will find something that you absolutely love, okay? I want to discuss getting in touch with your feminine energy. You could also use this to start your self-healing journey, and for a lot of people, I think like the self-healing journey, male or female, needs to include some type of balancing out of the feminine energy. I started this like maybe 3 weeks after I had my miscarriage. I just felt really lost, and I realized going through that process there were a lot of things that I needed to balance out and to deal with. I am one of those females. I do have a little bit of a dominant personality trait, although I love being taken care of. Sometimes when I do certain things, I will, instead of me feeling like a fool, like yes, like a boss babe or whatever, I feel like I have big dick energy, and that's how I would like. I'm the man. I wear the pants. I'm the pappy. Like that is part of my personality, and I think it just comes from having to take care of myself and guard myself in certain aspects of my life. One way that I felt was very useful with combating this issue, or not necessarily, not, I don't want to, it's not really an issue, but just kind of, you get what I'm saying. I decided to do a letter, and this letter is what helped me on my healing journey, because I really didn't know what it was that I needed to heal from. So, male or female, you could do this. I started off with Dear Pussy, because most of the time when we're off balance, it starts in the root, in our root chakra, what grounds us, what balances us. For me, I work with my root, and I, gradually went up. So for this letter, I start off by saying, Dear Pussy, magical, wonderful, juicy, like, I was just giving myself a lot of praise, a lot of credit. And then I went on to say, I'm sorry for giving you to people who really didn't deserve you. I'm sorry for not protecting you the way I feel as though I should have. And then from there, I went up to my stomach. I'm sorry for, feeding you in ways that were not always the best, and da da da. Went to my heart. I'm sorry that I didn't guard you as much as I should have, although I was very guarded with my emotions and things like that. And so I did apologize for that as well, not giving my heart the right love and attention. I went up to my throat. I'm sorry for not always speaking up in certain situations, especially when it came to protecting yourself and giving boundaries. And, I just worked my way up. And so what I realized as I wrote down everything, that I was blaming myself for a lot of things that I did not necessarily have control over, because most of it was just a reaction to life and the hand that was presented to me at the time. And so then from there, I wrote a letter to that self who said, I apologize for all of these things. And that letter basically was like, you are taking accountability for things that were not your fault. And then there were things that was my fault. And so I took accountability for that in that second letter. From that apology, I said, this this is what I'm going to do differently, and I hope that I can gain your forgiveness and your trust back. Because I feel like when we are with a partner as women, well, men or women, because I think that femininity and masculinity does not exist as either or. I think it exists on a spectrum, and that's why like women who tend to be more independent, more dominant, more masculine, like end up with bitch babies of men. Um, I shouldn't call them bitch babies of men, but men who were taken care of by their moms a lot is what I meant by that. Please don't be offended. Don't run to my comments and be like, you call me a bitch baby. If the shoe fits, just put it on and figure out how to not fit it no more. That's the best advice I could give to you. I say all that to say basically, when we get with a partner or someone like that who we feel secure and protected with and we trust them, I feel like that's when we get to rest or bask and be our most feminine self, right? It kind of takes you out of that fight or flight survival mode because you have that protection and you get to be fully feminine, And for I am not a feminist, okay? I don't want to do the same stuff that men do. And so I have a different perception on. So if this is not resonating with you, it might be because I perceive things a little bit differently for what I would prefer. So I think that the same goes with yourself. When you cannot trust yourself because you have allowed yourself to be put in so many bad situations where you had to be guarded, right? You kind of get stuck in that protector masculine, like guarded state versus that feminine nurture state. So once you can convince yourself that you do apologize and that you are going to make a change in how you operate, you will start to trust yourself again, and that will let you rest in your femininity more. It's not about this. It's not about the hair. It's not about nails. Like femininity is about a feeling, right? It's not about an appearance. Like, I mean, yes, you can have a feminine look to you, but the type of femininity that we are trying to achieve is not based on outward appearance. It's based on this. And so from what I have found, mending your relationship with yourself, with your mind, your body, like the deepest, most sacred parts of yourself, that is what's going to allow you to get back into that feminine place. But you have to make sure that yourself trusts you enough to not put you back into a situation where it's going to cause you to have your femininity threatened. And so for everyone, the letter would definitely be different. And that's why I'm not going to go into detail about what I wrote. Because for one, whatever you write should be very vulnerable, very personal, right? Just get a little journal. Just keep it for yourself. And this is not something that has to be completed within a certain amount of time. Write your letter of what you feel like you need to apologize to yourself for, and just meditate on that. Like keep reading it, keep reading it, and then once you're ready, that's when you write back to yourself, and then you could write back again and say, you know what, I'm not quite ready to trust and believe in yourself. But the whole point of the letter is to open up an honest dialogue that you might not necessarily be able to have with a friend, right? Or you might not necessarily feel comfortable talking to a therapist or life coach or anything like that about, because for me, and I would imagine people like me, we already have a certain lack of trust with people, period. And we feel like the only person that we can really trust with our secrets is ourselves, which I mean, it's pretty much true, you know? So I think that this is a great place to start your healing journey. And men, you could definitely do this too, because whether y'all realize it or not, and you could, the reason why I say whether you realize it or not, I should have said starting off, is that you should also start with your most sacred area as well. Because I know that for men, you have this idea that giving that part of yourself away a lot makes you more right? But then you don't know how to communicate with us. And it's because you're so far on your masculine side, because you think that you're thinking with your little head, right? And so you need to apologize to yourself. Say, hey, I gave myself to a lot of bitches who was not worthy of this. I planted my seed in a lot of places that it should not have been. Like, you're giving away your essence. And so you could definitely change this letter to fit that. And so I think that connecting with your feminine energy a bit more will help you understand women, and it will also help you communicate, right? And I think more men need to communicate.
I ran out of space on my camera, but what I was saying was I think more men need to learn how to communicate, not just with us, but communicate their feelings to other men, communicate their feelings in general. So that is my recommendation. If you do decide to try this, or if this is not anything new and you're like, hey girl, I've done something like this already, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys very soon.